You know that specific kind of dread? The one that hits you at, like, 10:30 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Oh, I know it well.
You've got the coffee, you've got your notes everywhere, you've done the reading. Intellectually, you know what you want to say, but you're just staring at a white screen.
And that cursor is just blinking.
Yes. On, off, on, off. It feels like it's mocking you.
The universal paralysis of the blank page.
Yeah.
It's a very real feeling.
It is. It's physical. You start thinking, if I type the wrong first word, everyone will know I'm a fraud.
Right.
You want to sound professional, like you belong in the room, but every sentence you come up with sounds like a text message.
And I think that anxiety hits everyone. It's not just students. It's CEOs writing to shareholders. It's engineers writing docs. And it is definitely tenured professors writing grant applications.
That gap, right. The gap between having a smart idea and sounding like a smart person.
It can feel like a canyon.
Exactly. And we usually think the way to cross it is with, I don't know, big vocabulary words. Just throw in a nevertheless and hope for the best. But today, we're finding out the secret isn't the words themselves. It's the structure.
Exactly. So today, we aren't analyzing a historical event or some tech breakthrough. We're analyzing a tool, a literal toolkit.
We have a guide here from the RMIT University Library. The title is very humble, almost boring. Research writing. Starter phrases.
Doesn't sound too exciting.
But looking through this, it honestly feels like we found a magician's cheat sheet.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating document because it essentially cracks the code of academic and professional authority. It's based on this linguistic concept called syntactic borrowing.
Syntactic borrowing. Okay, we need to pause there because that sounds complicated.
It does a little.
And also, to be honest, it sounds a bit like theft.
It does sound a bit illicit, doesn't it? Like, I was going to borrow this syntax, I'll bring it right back.
Yeah.
But it's actually a recognized pedagogical strategy. The source material references scholars like Kamler and Thompson, Swales, and Feek. I mean, these are heavy hitters in academic literacy.
Okay, so clear this up for us. How is this different from plagiarism? Because we definitely do not want our listeners to start copy-pasting their way to a promotion.
That's the crucial distinction. Plagiarism is stealing ideas, the content. If you take someone's data and say it's yours, that's theft.
Right.
Syntactic borrowing is copying the skeleton of the sentence, not the meat.
Help me visualize a sentence skeleton. What does that look like?
Okay, so imagine a sentence from a journal article, something like, recent research has tended to focus on the correlation between sleep and memory.
Okay. Sounds standard, smart, professional. I'm with you.
Now you strip out the content, you take out sleep and memory. What are you left with? You have, recent research has tended to focus on the correlation between blank and blank. That template, that is the skeleton.
Ah, I see it.
And the source argues that using these templates is the fastest way to learn the sort of manners of professional writing.
That makes so much sense. So instead of trying to invent a whole new way to say people are looking at this, you just grab that skeleton and plug your own stuff in.
Precisely. It frees up your cognitive load. Your brain only has so much energy, right?
Yeah.
If you spend 90% of it just trying to structure a sentence, you only have 10% left for your actual idea. This flips that ratio.
So our mission today is to build a toolkit for our listener, for the learner. We're going to walk through the life cycle of a serious piece of writing, from introduction to conclusion.
And use these phrases to decode how experts, well, how they direct our attention.
Manipulate might be a strong word, but...
Yeah. It's about guiding the reader's brain exactly where you want it to go.
Okay, let's start where every paper starts, the introduction. You have to grab the reader and say, this is important, read this, but, professionally.
Right. No all caps, no exclamation points.
Yeah.
The source calls this establishing importance. You ground the reader immediately. A classic phrase they list is, central to the discipline of blank is blank.
Central to the discipline of... I like that. It feels heavy, like you're planting a flag.
It's a signpost. It tells the reader, hey, we aren't talking about some tiny little issue here. This is the core of the matter.
It demands respect.
It does. Another strong one is the issue of blank has recently grown in importance.
Ooh, that one adds a time element and says, you need to pay attention to this right now.
Exactly. It creates urgency. Recently. It implies if you don't read this, you're already behind. But here's the thing about intros that people miss, and the guide is really good on this.
What's that?
You can't just say, this is important and leave it there. A good research paper, like a good movie, needs conflict.
Conflict? See, I always think of research as dry, charts, data, footnotes. You're telling me there's drama in the introduction?
Oh, absolutely. If there's no problem, there's no reason for the paper. You have to show that something is wrong or missing or debated. The source has some great phrases for this. For example, the controversy over blank has raged for many years.
Raged. Wow, that is a surprisingly emotional word for academic writing.
It raises the stakes. It implies there are camps, there are battles, or, if you want to sound a bit more historical, over the past century, there has been a major decline in.
It sets a scene. It's almost cinematic in a world where standards are declining.
You're hooking them.
So we've got importance, we have drama. Now, you have to justify why you are writing something new. You have to find the gap.
The gap is the most crucial part of the setup. It's the whole reason you're here. You have to prove that the current knowledge is incomplete.
Right. You can't just restate what everyone knows.
And the starter phrases for this are very specific. They're polite, but they're firm, you might say. To date, there has been little agreement on.
Oh, that's good. Little agreement. It implies everyone else is confused, arguing, and here I come to sort it all out.
It positions you as the clarifier, or a slightly gentler one. Until now, little importance has been given to.
Until now, that's the superhero entrance music right there.
Yeah.
Until now, no one noticed this thing, but I have arrived.
And notice the borrowing. You're not saying other researchers are stupid and missed this.
Yeah.
You're saying little importance has been given. It's passive. It removes the ego, even as you're claiming to be the one to fix the problem.
That leads us right into the literature review. This is the part I always struggled with. You have to summarize everything everyone else has ever said. It just feels like a chore.
It's the heavy lifting, for sure, but it's also where the politics happen. The source calls it establishing authority, but I like to think of it as polite academic conflict.
Polite academic conflict, I like that, because you have to agree with some people and disagree with others.
Exactly. So first, you show consensus. If everyone agrees, you use a phrase like, "It has been conclusively shown that."
That's a door-slamming phrase. Conclusively shown. Debate over. Let's move on.
It is. But if you want to be a little softer, maybe the research isn't 100% solid, you could say, "It is thought that."
It is thought that.
Yeah.
That's sneaky. It distances you a bit. It's like saying, well, some people think this, but I'm not putting my name on it just yet.
It's a very subtle way of disassociating. But the real fun starts when you want to disagree. This is where the source provides a toolkit for what I call academic shade.
Okay, academic shade. Give me the best ways to politely destroy someone's argument.
Well, let's say a researcher, we'll call him Professor X, missed the big picture. You don't say Professor X is wrong. That's too aggressive.
Too personal.
Right. Use the phrase, X's interpretation overlooks much of.
Ouch, overlooks. That implies carelessness. That stings more than being wrong.
Or how about this one? A key problem with this argument is...
direct. I like it. You're attacking the argument, not the person.
Exactly. And my personal favorite from the list, the main limitation to X's study is...
it's so clinical, it makes it sound like an objective fact that their study was flawed.
And that's the power here. You're not being mean. You're using the accepted language of critique. There's another one. However, the research does not take into account.
That is the academic way of saying you completely missed the point.
Precisely. It allows you to position your own work as the solution to their failure without ever raising your voice. It's rhetorical jujitsu.
So we've set the stage. We've politely insulted our colleagues. Now we have to actually do the work, the mechanics, the methods and results sections.
Right.
Now, this seems like it would be the easiest part to write. Just list what you did, right?
You would think so, but this is where a lot of writers lose authority. If you just say, I did this, then I did that, it sounds like a diary entry.
Or a recipe.
Exactly. You
That's
need to
it.
sound deliberate. So in the method section, you justify your choices. You use a phrase like, a semi-structured approach was chosen because.
Chosen because. That's the key. It implies a decision. It wasn't random.
It creates an aura of intentionality. Or to increase the reliability of measures. That signals to the reader that you're obsessed with quality control. You're anticipating their criticism.
Okay, and then we get to the results. I noticed that the source says the language shifts here. It gets colder.
Much more objective. You step back and let the data speak. You'll see phrases like, it is apparent from table 1 that.
You're literally pointing at the evidence. Don't look at me, look at the table.
But here's where it gets interesting. What happens if your results aren't perfect? What if you ran the study and nothing happened?
You hide it. Bury it in a footnote and hope no one sees.
No, you frame it correctly. If you hide it, you look dishonest. The source offers phrases for reporting negative findings without destroying your credibility. For instance, no significant reduction in blank was found.
Just stating it clearly. It actually sounds confident, even though the result was nothing.
Exactly. Finding nothing is still a finding. Or, let's say your data is a little thin, you only talk to 5 people, you can say a small number of those interviewed indicated that.
That's a useful one. A small number. It's honest.
It's about transparency. You control the narrative by admitting the weakness up front. And that leads us to the most complex part of any paper, the discussion. This is the pivot.
The pivot. This is where we take those cold, hard facts, the table one shows, and explain what they actually mean.
And this is where things rarely go to plan. Research is messy. Sometimes you find things you didn't expect.
Right.
Maybe your hypothesis was just wrong.
So what does the toolkit say we should do when we're surprised?
You own the surprise. There is a phrase, contrary to expectations.
Contrary to expectations. I like that. It sounds like a plot twist in a mystery novel. The butler, contrary to expectations, was innocent.
It is, or this one. This finding was unexpected and suggests that. It turns a surprise into a discovery. You weren't wrong, you just found something new.
It reclaims the narrative. Now, I did notice a lot of phrases in this discussion section seem a bit wishy-washy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of may, might, could, possible. Why are they so afraid of certainty? Is it just a lack of confidence?
It's actually the opposite. It's a sign of discipline. In complex fields, science, economics, you can rarely prove anything 100%. If you claim certainty, you'll get attacked. You look naive. So the source encourages phrases that embrace nuance. It is possible to hypothesize that.
It is possible to hypothesize. That is 5 words to say, maybe.
It is.
Yeah.
But listen to the difference in tone. Maybe sounds like you're guessing. It is possible to hypothesize. Sounds like a calculated scientific deduction.
It does sound smarter, I'll give you that.
Or it may be the case that, or these data must be interpreted with caution because
Interpreted with caution. That's like putting a warning label on your own ideas.
it protects you. It's like insurance. If you say, this proves X, and one person finds an exception, you're wrong. If you say, this suggests X might be true, and someone finds an exception, you're still right.
It's a legal defense. You're building a wall around your argument.
Exactly. You define the limits of your claim so that the claim remains true within those limits.
So we've hedged our bets, explained our surprises. Now we have to wrap it up. The finish line, the conclusion.
The conclusion is all about packaging. You need to remind the reader what they just learned because they've been through the weeds with you.
The source suggests keeping it simple here. Something like, the study has shown that.
Or, if you want to sound really organized, the results are significant in 3 respects.
People love lists. Here are the 3 reasons you should care.
It's cognitively satisfying. But then, and this is what I find most fascinating, there's a section on admitting your limitations.
I was surprised to see that. There are specific phrases just for pointing out where your study failed.
Yeah.
Why would you end your big report by talking about what you didn't do?
It's crucial for credibility. If you don't point out your own flaws, someone else will. And if they point them out, you look like you were trying to hide something.
So you get ahead of it.
You get ahead of it. You use a phrase like, the research was limited in several ways, or even, however, the findings are subject to at least 4 limitations.
At least 4. You're counting them up.
It's disarming. It shows
Okay.
high integrity.
It reminds me of the movie 8 Mile, you know, where Eminem is in the rap battle and he just spends his whole turn rapping about all his own flaws.
Yes.
And then the other guy has nothing left to say.
That's a perfect analogy. You own the narrative of your own limitations. You steal the ammunition from your critics. It makes me trust the rest of the paper more.
So once you've been humble, what's next?
You do the handoff. You point to the future. You say further research should be done to investigate the...
The findings of this study have a number of important implications for.
Exactly. You're passing the baton. You're saying, I did my part. I found this piece of the puzzle. Now you go find the next one.
It really is a full narrative arc, isn't it? From this is important to here's the conflict, here's what I found, here's where I messed up, and finally, here's where we go next.
That's the beauty of it. You realize that academic writing isn't just about big words. It's a structure. It's a way of thinking.
So let's bring this back to our listener. Most people aren't writing a PhD thesis. They're writing business reports or emails or project proposals. Why should they care?
Because these phrases are basically tools for clear thinking. They force you to organize your thoughts. If you make yourself use the phrase, a key problem with this argument is, quoto, you're forcing yourself to identify a specific problem.
It elevates the conversation.
It does. It removes the emotion and focuses on logic.
Mhm.
Syntactic borrowing isn't cheating. It's learning the manners of the discipline so people can focus on your ideas, not your grammar.
I love that. It's like wearing a suit to a meeting. The suit doesn't do the work, you still have to have the ideas.
Right?
But the suit makes people take you seriously enough to listen.
Precisely. It removes the friction. It smooths the path between your brain and their brain.
So here's a challenge for you, the listener. Try a little syntactic borrowing in your next email. Maybe instead of, I want tacos for lunch, you say.
It has been conclusively shown that tacos are the optimal choice for the midday meal.
Or, a key limitation of the salad option is its distinct lack of crunch.
Recent developments in my hunger levels have led to a renewed interest in pizza.
You might get a few weird looks, but you will definitely sound authoritative.
But truly, it brings us to our final thought for the day. We always like to leave you with something to chew on.
What's the big takeaway here?
If you strip away the content of your daily communication, all the topics, and just look at the skeleton phrases you use. Do you sound open to discovery? Do you use phrases like, it is possible to hypothesize?
Or do you sound like you already know everything?
Are you an, it has been conclusively shown person, or a, this finding was unexpected person?
It's something to think about next time you're staring at that blank page. Thanks for diving in with us.
Until next time.